You guys already know I'm going to be excited for this one. We have Suqraat by Lattafa. Okay? Yeah, you know, Suqraat by Lattafa. It's an eau de parfum. You know what this smells like? And I'm super pumped up for this. Yeah, Acqua di Gio Profumo. This smells like Acqua di Gio Profumo. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to review this one. I'm going to tell you how it smells, how it performs, and how it compares to Acqua di Gio Profumo. Yeah, got another cheapy clone for you here. Typically, in most places, Profumo is going to be running for $95 plus, depending on bottle size, depending on discount, that sort of thing. Nowhere near a cheapie. Armani's kind of one of the more premium designer brands, and so you got to pay up for those. And not everyone wants to do that, especially in a time like this. So if you can save some money and get something for a more affordable price, that is the way to go. Now I ended up paying, I want to say about $31 for this one. And this is I believe it's a 100 milliliter bottle. It's kind of cool. I just noticed that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the camera. But inside, on the back of this sticker, it says Eau de Parfum 100 milliliter. And on the front of this plaque, you have the name of it. Really cool presentation. I like it. Cap is press fit. 30 bucks versus, 100 plus. We'll talk about how good it is here. So when you first spray this fragrance on skin, in the air, you get Acqua di Gio Profumo right off the bat. And the reason why I say Profumo in particular off the opening is that Profumo has that Acqua di Gio DNA opening, but it has this grassy green smell. And now I've been talking about Acqua di Gio Profumo for years, and I've seen this brought up a lot, in that people don't like the opening of Profumo. And I'll be the first to admit, I don't either. I really don't care for and love the opening of this fragrance. And again, it's one of my top favorites. The dry down of this one is heavenly. That's where it's at. The opening is green, it is grassy, and it sometimes is a little bit off-putting, believe it or not, especially for me. It's something where I'll spray it on and I'm just not even pumped up until I get into the dry down. And this Lattafa nails that grassy green smell, so they really did a good job of paying attention to that detail and nailing that opening right off the bat. So it does open up very fresh, very vibrant, very aquatic with that green smell. Something that immediately reminds you of summertime, just very refreshing. As you get into the dry down, it does start to go in that slightly sweet direction like Profumo, where you pick up on some of the smokiness, some of the patchouli, just kind of the woods, right? It goes in that more mysterious smelling direction, which is, again, how Profumo is. That's what I like about this one, is that it really does a good job of nailing the opening, and even how it transitions into the mid and dry down. It's kind of a cool thing. That's something I look for in clones, is, how they behave compared to the real thing. If they transition the same, if they open up the same. This one does a surprisingly good job of nailing that. We'll take a look at the note breakdown for the Lattafa. It's a little bit strange. We've got bergamot and ginger up top. We have violet leaves and lavender in the mid, sandalwood, amber, and musk in the base. So when you look at this note breakdown, you wouldn't really think Acqua di Gio Profumo or even Acqua di Gio. I know I wouldn't. When I bought this one off of FRAGRANCEBUY, it said Profumo Twist. And so I didn't know if that meant Armani Co Profumo, Acqua di Gio Profumo, or some other Profumo. I didn't know. I was going into a blind. But as soon as I got this one in and I sprayed it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Acqua di Gio Profumo 100%. So while the note breakdown can be a little bit confusing, we'll kind of dissect that. What do I get out of it? For sure, the bergamot, you do get that citrus opening, which is kind of going along with an aquatic smell in there. And the aquatic smell would be coming from the violet leaves. That's often used to kind of give off a watery smell, which is kind of cool to see here. Lavender, sure, of course, it's used in about anything men's fragrances. Lavender is going to be in there. Kind of gives it just a clean, fresh smell, a little bit aromatic, right? Nothing new there. Now the dry down, sandalwood, amber, and musk. Now the amber to me is kind of coming across more like a ambergris, kind of a sea note type of thing. The musk is also coming through, just kind of in addition to that clean nature that this one puts off. Sandalwood, I don't really get a whole lot of it. So that kind of leaves you with the question of, where does the kind of smokiness come from? There's no incense, there's no patchouli, and it's a good question. I'm not sure if they're leaving notes out. They very well could be. Note breakdowns are just something where kind of take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times brands will sometimes make up notes, right? It's not uncommon, and so that's just one thing where you just kind of want to look at it as a guide, a reference, and then just use your nose, use what you pick up on as what you should believe, because that's all that matters is what you get out of it. But you do start to pick up on kind of a smokiness, a mysterious aspect later on in the dry down. You don't get it off the opening. So again, this one is an eau de parfum. We'll go ahead and talk about performance here. Longevity on my skin has been really consistent at about 8 hours or so, 8.5, somewhere around in there, longevity-wise, which for me, I can't complain. That's solid, especially for a $35 fragrance, somewhere around in there. I'm not going to complain. Now, is it as good as the original or the real Profumo on my skin? No. But that's just me. A lot of people complain about horrible, terrible performance from Profumo. I've got so many bottles from all different years and ranges and batches, and they all do really well. 9-10 hours on my skin, right? No joke, longevity. They work for me. This one is just about there, but not quite. For me, I don't really care. At this price point, sign me up. Projection is also decently strong, even though it is an EDP. Now, it's important to note that Profumo is actually a parfum concentration, and so if you were ever expecting like nuclear projection out of that one, well, given its high concentration, it's not something that's super realistic. Although I do get decent projection out of Profumo, it's always been more of a scent trail caster for me, something that leaves a nice sillage. And I found similar results with the Lattafa here, being that it's one step up into an eau de parfum. It kind of has a little bit more of a sillage than something like an eau de toilette would, and so I found that it did excel in that department of just really lingering in the air. It's something that's evident when you spray it up in the air. Like if you're testing it, spray it up. It'll hang in the air for a good amount of time. You'll be able to smell it. But also when it's on your skin and you're wearing it and you walk from room to room, it's going to linger in the air for a good while. And again, if you're into the dry down at that point and it's in the air, then you're getting some of the deeper aspects of the scent, kind of the smokiness and the mysterious, richer parts of it. That's where it gets even better, and it is delicious at that point. It's a compliment getter, of course. Acqua di Gio Profumo is a big-time people pleaser, right? The whole line pretty much is Acqua di Gio. They're all just great smelling scents that people just like. Doesn't matter who you are, people like them for the most part. Not talking niche snobs, of course. I'm just talking general public. They like how it smells. At the very minimum, they think it smells clean and fresh, and that's always a plus. And so this one does follow in its footsteps. If you're just after something that has a little bit of a mysterious smell, but ultimately is still going to be very mass-pleasing, very modern, and still kind of trendy, then this is a really nice place to look, again, for about $30. That is really solid. Another thing is quality. It's been impressive, man. That opening nails that grassy green smell, but it doesn't get synthetic or unnatural smelling. It really kind of nails that smooth aspect that Profumo has. It's impressive. Not saying it is as good of quality as Profumo or other designer scents or niche fragrances, but it holds its own. It's definitely above average for quality in this price point. I have a lot of $30 fragrances that have an alcohol blast in the opening and are harsh and kind of rough and don't have good quality. But this one stands out in that department. Alrighty, I think that's going to do it for me. That's my thoughts on Suqraat by Lattafa, Eau de Parfum, Acqua di Gio Profumo Cologne. Impressive stuff. I didn't know what I was getting going into it because the note breakdown just threw me off. But again, like I said, as soon as I got it in and I sprayed it on, I knew it was Acqua di Gio Profumo, and I've been impressed as I've been testing it. I will link it down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.